Hey everybody, how you doing? Coach Milo here. Another episode of USA Podcast. And I have another very special guest, Nicole Rodriguez.
Hello.
LMU basketball player, athlete, student athlete, right? Multi-sport athlete,
A little bit.
a little bit. Yeah, come on. Hey, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming, taking time out of your day. I
Thank
know
you for
you're a
having
busy
me.
individual, right?
Yes.
Very busy. Very busy. So, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about Nicole?
So I'm Nicole Rodriguez. I play at Loyola Marymount University. I just finished up my freshman year, and I've been playing basketball for about 6 years now. I started in middle school. My first sport was baseball, and then
How old were you when you played baseball?
I started playing baseball when I was about 8, and then I played one season of softball, and I hated it. And then I went back to baseball for a while. I made the freshman baseball team at Norco High School, and then I played softball at Norco High School. We won CIF, and then that would kind of ended my. That was the last time I played softball.
What was the difference for you with baseball and softball? How come you didn't like softball? How can you like baseball?
Well, at least when I was younger, I just loved. I mean, even still now, I love being challenged, and a lot of people didn't believe that I could do anything in baseball or do anything with baseball. So, from a very young age, it was always my goal to at least make the freshman baseball team because no one thought I could.
Yeah.
So, that was always a goal of mine. And then in softball, I just felt like I couldn't really do anything with that, and like no one would be like, "Oh, that's Nicole," because like every girl plays softball.
Yeah.
But when I played baseball, everyone knew like, "Oh, Nicole plays baseball." Like they knew me.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, that's cool. What position did you play in baseball?
At first, I started out as a catcher, and then I moved to like middle infield, but mostly center field was my main position.
Which position did you like the most?
I loved catching because, especially when I was younger, like I was very like aggressive, and I loved it when they would try to like steal home. I would tackle people, and then I did like center field a lot too. It was a lot more calm, and it reminded me of being a catcher because like you see everything, you know. So I liked it.
So what got you into basketball?
So when I was in middle school, I had never played before, but I was like interested in it because my older cousin played basketball, and I looked up to her, and so my PE coach was like, "Oh, you should come play basketball. We play all the other little schools." I was like, "Okay." So I tried out, and she thought I was good, so made the team, and then I started to just associate myself with more like basketball people, and then I met one of my really good friends, and she inspired me to go to because I'm supposed to go to Roosevelt High School. That's like my home school, but I met my friend, and so I went to Norco High School with her, and then I just started. I found California Storm Travel Ball Association, and then so everything kind of just started to line up basketball-wise, like for me. Nothing really for softball or baseball. That kind of just, started to die down.
Did you play travel ball or anything like that in baseball or softball? Or no?
Baseball, yes. It was just a little team out of my city called Eastvale Express. And that was it. Nothing really big.
Okay. That's probably why, though, right? Because everything happens in the travel ball world and stuff like that. So you went more towards basketball, and you played for the Storm, you said?
Yes, California.
And how did that all?
So when I had first gone, I actually before Storm I played for this team called Corona Force. That was just like it was not as big as California Storm, but we kind of played in the same little tournaments. And that experience is nothing like Cal Storm, but Cal Storm, it was very, very different because all of the girls were high level, all of them. And so I had to quickly adjust and like change my mindset. And so I think I've definitely
So when you
grew.
said change your mindset, you had to like take it a little bit more serious and
Yes.
dedicate yourself to that.
Yes, that's when I stopped playing softball. Like my sophomore year was my last year playing softball because I really wanted to focus on basketball because I knew that I had to do that much extra just to keep up with these girls because they're just naturally gifted. So, and I wasn't like that. So, I really had to focus just on basketball. So, that whole experience was very, very tough on me because it was hard for me to understand that these girls didn't have to really do as much as me. And I had to do, like, work harder than everyone there combined just to be on the team. And that doesn't even count as, like, getting playing time or anything.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So playing, how many years did you play for Storm?
3.
3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so how old were you when you started with Storm? What grades?
I was going into my sophomore year.
Okay.
So finished freshman year of high school basketball, and then me and my friend actually found the team together, and we went to Cal Storm. So I played with her 1 year there, and then I stayed for 2 more years because she went to college.
And that was a year-round?
Yes, so right after my basketball season was done in high school, I would go to Storm, and then right after Storm, or as soon as high school would start up, that's kind of when you would be done with travel ball.
Yeah. Okay. So when did you start getting recognized from schools and, for college?
Mm-hmm.
Was LMU your only school, or did you other smaller schools or anything like that reach out to you?
Yeah, so I think my experience was a lot different from girls that I've played with. So when I first started playing, or when I first started getting like recognized by coaches, I think my first letter I got, I was a freshman from CSUN. And I remember literally like a couple of days before, I was telling my mom, like, I'm not good enough. Like, I don't think I'm going to play basketball. And then I got a letter in the mail. I was like, oh, maybe I could do this. And then
Someone sent you a sign, huh?
yeah. And so, but I would get letters throughout the summer, but then I would always think to myself, well, this doesn't mean anything. Like, it's a letter of interest. Like, they're not offering me a scholarship. They're not telling me come visit our school. Like, so it didn't really mean anything to me as time went on. But I got my first offer the summer going into my senior year. And I remember the whole buildup of summer. I was like, this is my summer. I'm going to do so good. I'm going to get all these offers and, and nothing came. And I remember talking to my coach, and I was like, why isn't this happening for me? And I knew nothing. It was no one's fault except for mine because I worked very, very hard. But I just, even to this day, I can't get past this mental block in my mind that, like, I'm scared to mess up. I'm scared to fail. So It was no one's fault that I didn't have offers or no colleges really wanted me. It was all on me. But after I talked to him, he had helped me kind of go visit CSUN, actually.
Yeah.
And then after, on my unofficial visit, he offered me as my first scholarship. And but honestly, I didn't really feel like I had earned that because of the conversation I had with my coach. And of course, I appreciate him helping me out. But like, I just didn't really feel like that was earned by me only.
And you're not okay with stuff, and I know you.
Yeah.
You don't want anything just given to you.
Mm-mm.
It's like, nah.
Yeah. So then, my friend that that had influenced me to play basketball at Norco High School with her, she got a scholarship to go to LMU. So she was telling me, oh, you need to come to the camp. Like, just come. And I was like, they don't even want me. Like, I'm not going to go, like, spend money to pay for this camp. And then she's like, just come. It'll be fine. And then I was like, all right, why not? So I wasn't even supposed to go. They didn't invite me, nothing. I was just like, okay, I'll go. And Naomi was telling them that I was going to show up, and they weren't really, like, maybe they were a little interested, but not, like, I wasn't on their radar necessarily. Yeah. So, but I went to the camp, and halfway through the camp, they offered me a scholarship because I was playing really well, like in the one-on-ones and everything. So that I felt like I earned. Like I did that all on my own.
Exactly.
So those were my only 2 offers, and so.
How was that process? The recruiting process and stuff like that. So after they gave you the offer, because I want kids to understand, what you had to go through, and okay, now you get your offer. Now what's next? What do you do and stuff like that. So
Yeah. So personally, for me, like before I had even got any offers or anything, I remember some older girls would tell me, like, when you go visit these schools that you're have interest in, you're gonna have this feeling that, like, oh, this is my school. And it's crazy because I was like, no way, like, that's just like, how would you just know, like, have a feeling? And actually on my way to LMU, we were driving up like the Bluff area, the driveway, and I was like, I just had this gut feeling like I'm gonna go here, and they hadn't even offered me it. I hadn't even stepped on the campus. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go here. Like I had that feeling. So.
And you're like, those girls are right.
Yeah, yeah. So
I got that feeling.
I mean, that's just maybe one way, but yeah, I think everyone's experience is just different, and because like when I went to CSUN, I was like.
You just weren't feeling it.
I wasn't feeling it, no. So, and I mean, those were the only 2 offers I had, but over summer, actually, after I got offered, usually you're supposed to commit, like, closer to your high school season, but my coach had told me to commit earlier, so, because he's very, like, smart with all that stuff, and I trust him, so I had committed to LMU, and
was this your high school coach or your...
No, AAU, travel ball.
Oh, travel ball.
So he had told me to commit, so I committed, and then actually in one of our very last tournaments, I actually started playing well, and I wasn't thinking or anything, so and then some bigger schools kind of showed interest, but I wasn't really, I was like, no, I'm going to go to LMU, and so...
You stuck to your commitment, and...
Yeah, and I don't regret that I had committed to LMU because I would have gone there anyways, but I kind of wish that I waited just so I could experience, like, traveling to see other schools, because I really only went to see 2 of them. I mean, I went on other unofficial visits, but nowhere, like, out-of-state, crazy, like, cool. But I missed out on experiencing, like, having my an official visit and, having them fly me out there. I had an official visit at LMU after I committed.
Yeah.
But
what does that consist of? I want...
An official
Again,
visit?
I want kids to understand the process and...
Yeah. So for me...
Explain the difference between an official visit, if you know, right, and an official visit.
So an official visit, it's... so an official visit, you get 5 official visits. I'm pretty sure it's 5. And so you have to pick, like, out of the schools that you...
That show interest in you.
Right, you get to pick which ones you want to go see. And so for the unofficial visits, you can go as many as you want. It's not official. Like, you just go see the school with the coaches, just drive you around. You can't... So on official visits, they buy you every meal. They take you... You have, like, a certain area in the city that you could go see. And so on my official visits, we went to, like, Santa Monica Pier, or, like, to eat around there. They took me to all these nice places to eat, and they could pay for me. And then I got to hang out with the team. We went bowling. We stayed.
So they show you all the fun stuff.
Yeah. We stayed in a nice hotel, and that's all paid for. And then unofficial visits, nothing's paid for.
Yeah.
You kind of just do your own thing and see the campus.
Very cool. Very cool. So when you got involved in basketball and you started going towards that direction, right? What like who were your influences? Like who did you look up to in the basketball world now that, like, okay, I need to have someone, to kind of how do you say it? Like create the path towards, like I see their work ethic, I want to be like them.
Yeah.
Or I see, you know what I mean? Like who are some of your athletes?
There's no one that I really look to model my game after, because I think of course, I like look at people and like, oh, like I need to have that so I can use that move or, but not necessarily my whole game, but definitely mindset. I always look at Kobe, like for sure, because before I've even done more research or watched more videos on him, I know how my mindset was before, and it's very similar. I'm not saying I'm Kobe or anything, but I very, I don't know, I call myself like crazy. Like I'm crazy. I don't, just my work ethic is similar to his, and my mindset of how I handle things and how I handle failure and like different obstacles, it's very similar, I think.
So your relationship with Kobe is different than a lot of other people, right? Because a lot of people can just say, yeah, I seen videos of Kobe, but you had the opportunity to actually meet him and
Yeah, I met him a couple times. So the first time I met him, we were practicing at Sage Hill, where his Mamba team would work out at. And it was during summertime with my travel ball team. And so we were just practicing with them and doing different drills. And the whole time, he didn't really coach us. He was just sitting in the corner, and he had someone else coaching his team. But when we started doing one-on-one stuff, he had came around to where I was playing, and I remember I shot like a fadeaway, and he was like called me over, and I was like, oh my gosh! And then he told me, he's like, every time you shoot a fadeaway, you just shoot it really high. I was like, okay. So the next time I did it, and I was like, I'm just gonna do it, and then I shot it really high, and I made it, and he came up to me, he was like, and I was like,
and you
oh
still
my,
remember that.
yeah. And then he gave me a high five, and then I was like, that did not just happen. I was like, I was starstruck. And then the second time I met him, it was after I had committed to LMU, and it was like end of travel ball. I was working at Mamba with my teammates, and I don't know how he knew, but because I never talked to him again, or maybe he like followed but I don't even think they had posted it. But anyways, he walked into Mamba. I was working with the little kids, and he came
The
up
training facility, right?
Yes.
So.
Yeah, Mamba Sports Academy. And he came up to me and he gave me a hug, and he's like, oh, congratulations on LMU. And he was like, so proud of you. I was like, what the heck? I was like, this is crazy. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Not a lot of people could say that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but I could see a similarity in your work ethic, and I talk about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, like our other athlete, Joette, right? You as well used to come in at what time and train?
Like 5.
5 p.m.?
No, at 5 a.m. 5 or 6 a.m.
And how many days did you train?
Like 6.
At least 6,
At
huh?
least 6, yeah.
Wow. Dedication, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of dedication. So what was your typical day leading up to LMU?
So I
So
would
you would come in at 5.
come in at 5, work out with you, and then I would go get food. Sometimes I would lift with Aaron, and then after that I would work out with Emery, my basketball trainer, and then go home and take a nap, and then that's pretty much it. Come back, do it again
And
tomorrow.
I know you would go and play games and stuff because you would come and be like, oh, I was at the park.
Oh yeah,
And
I would go at night and play pickup at the park.
with all the girls, right?
The guys.
Yeah, all the
Yeah.
guys. So
Yeah.
again, always challenging yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now that your season wrapped up at LMU, freshman year is over. We were just talking the other day. It's crazy how fast that went by.
Mm-hmm.
But tell us a little bit. What was your experience like? Did you
Overall,
like it overall?
overall, I did. I definitely enjoyed it, but I think more than anything, it was just very frustrating, because I had, personally, like, I had done everything I could possible to be successful in every category, conditioning, just like on the court, IQ, playing physically, But when it came down to it, I've always struggled with my mentally getting past things and thinking like, do I really deserve to be great? Do I really deserve to make this shot and have like, make this game-winning shot, or, just I know I could take this girl to the basket every time, but that little doubt that I'm gonna turn the ball over right now, like that, even that little doubt, a little voice in my head, completely takes away all of my hard work, because it's so like my mind is very powerful. The mind is very powerful, and it doesn't matter how hard I worked over summer, because that small amount of doubt that I have, it
supersedes all the
it
stuff
takes
that you
over
did.
everything. And so in the beginning of the season, when I first got there, I had a lot of confidence, because I realized that no other girl did what I did to prepare. So I was like, okay, like I'm, more conditioned than everyone. I'm beating everyone. So, okay, this is going good. And then games started to come, and USC was our first game, and that was a tough game. That was like my first college game. I'm playing USC.
Playing against your
And
coach's favorite school. Right?
yeah. And so that was a big eye opener. And then from there on, I only got more motivated. I was like, because I didn't care if it was USC. I didn't care if it was the smallest D3 school. Like, I was like, I want to, be better. So then I started to do better. I would work on my game every single day, morning and night, before practice, after practice. And so as the season went on, I think I started to think too much. I liked it when I had a lot of responsibility on me, because I felt like I don't know, my mindset switched, which was not good, because at first I was kind of like the main, person for us. And then as older girls started to like step up, which was good. Like as a freshman, I wasn't really supposed to
take
so
all that
much.
ownership of all
Right, I
that
was just supposed
pressure.
to go in and play. But I liked having a higher role. I enjoyed it. And then as older girls started to step up and take those roles, I kind of started to go back to the mindset like, okay, do I deserve this? Like, and I started having doubt again. But I'm glad my teammates took over, because they deserved it. Like, they're very talented, very skilled players, and
Yeah.
I'm happy that they did that. But that's just something mentally I need to get past, because in life, like, even not just in sports, like, I can't let other people's successes or my failures change the way that I think and change my confidence in myself, because it's only going to hurt me. I'm only hurting myself.
Yeah. And the other thing you have to think about too, right, is success wise. Who defines success? The individual. Right? The individual defines success. So what I think might be a successful season for you, which I think it was, you might say, no, it wasn't. So everybody has their own perspective as far as success. So I think instead of living in everyone else's expectations, you live in your own and live with your own. You know what I mean? So you define your own version of that. And I think once you develop that, that's when it becomes, And you have to understand too, right? You're a freshman, taking on a lot of responsibility, but it overcame a lot. And I mean, towards the end of the season, you started off good, kind of went down a little bit, but I think you finished strong. Do you feel you finished strong?
I think
Be honest.
I don't.
You don't.
No.
And why is that? Because I saw the last 3 games, and I was like, okay, you
Yeah.
can see a difference in the style of play. When I'm looking at you, when you're playing, I saw a little difference in the style of play. You in the middle, you kind of like you could tell you're overthinking. Where at the later part, you're starting to do certain moves, and
Yeah.
everything would just flow differently. There goes that word flow, right?
Yeah.
So
I I don't think that I finished bad, but I don't think that I finished good either. So,
In your
in
vision.
my mind,
Yeah.
yes, because just because I know everything that I've done, and it's like I'm not showing it. Like, it doesn't matter if I woke up at 5 a.m. over summer every day, or if I was here at 5 a.m. Like, it doesn't matter because I wasn't showing it. I didn't prove it. So, that's why I don't think I finished strong. Um, but I think I did finish strong mentally because in the beginning I was, really confident in myself and everything, and then middle I was questioning myself, and then towards the end I still was questioning myself, but I began to like during the games or even when I would miss a shot, my mindset wasn't to the point where wasn't where it was in the middle of the season where it's like, oh dang, I missed another shot. Like I'm scared to shoot the next one because I don't want to miss. And then towards the end I was like, if I miss, I miss. I mean, it is what it is. I just got to keep going because
Yeah.
I do deserve to be great.
Yeah.
But I think also that I learned that it's going to take time. And that's something that I still struggle with because ever since I started playing sports, it's like, okay, a couple years I'll be great. Like, I'm putting all this work in. And then when I get to a couple years, I'm like, all right, next year I'll be great. And it's like, when is it going to come? Because I keep saying, okay, in high school, I was like, when I'm in college, I'm going to be really good. Now I'm in college, I'm like, okay, next year I'm going to be really good. But why can't that next time be like now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
But it's a process, though.
yeah,
It is a
everyone keeps
process.
telling me it's a
And you have to
process.
trust the process, right?
Yeah.
In anything.
And more than anything, it's my mind. It's all in my head because I know when I really think about it, no one does what I do. And I'm confident in that because if I met someone that did what I did, I wouldn't let them. Like, I would
Yeah.
work harder than them so that way I knew I had that on them. So,
I was just talking to another athlete that I was training the other day, and we were talking about short-term memory. Do you understand the process or understand the concept of short-term memory? Because in order to reach that, this is my belief, right? I'm not saying it's facts and it's in the books, but I feel in order to get to that next level, you have to have short-term memory. So, like, one of the examples I had given, say, for example, you're shooting, right? And I just throw you 10 balls, just quick, boom, 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 and you keep shooting, 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 one right after another. And I go, okay, what did you do on your second shot? I don't remember if I made it or missed it. Because you're already, thinking about the next shot.
right.
And thinking about the next shot, and then thinking about the next shot. So you forget about all that. Instead of, I missed that second shot. Oh, man. And now you're thinking about that second shot. Now you missed the third shot because you're still thinking about that second shot.
Yeah.
Now you're thinking about the third and second shot that you missed, and instead of just catch and release, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
hey.
During season,
But-
our mindset was kind of like have a goldfish mentality. So like our coach would be
There
like,
it
be a
is.
goldfish
Yeah.
because they have like
That's it.
a
That's
10
a short-
second memory or something like that. So every time we mess up in the game or have like a turnover, she'd be like, you guys gotta be goldfish. Like, just get over it. And it's like, it's true. Like,
Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
that's the truth, though. And I mean, that again, you're a freshman. You have so much to grow, and that's why it's exciting to watch you.
I know.
To
Yeah.
to see your work ethic, and just to know you're still young, and it's amazing, seriously. And compared to a lot of these other girls, I mean, most of them, if you were to talk to them, when did they start playing travel ball? When were they on the circuit? Versus when you got into the circuit and started taking it serious.
Yeah. I know a lot of every girl that I pretty much played with has started when they were like 4 years old. But at the end of the day, I've been thinking about that. But like at the end of the day, no matter where anyone came from, no matter where anyone started, we're all at the same place now.
Yeah.
So when people tell me, oh, you started playing when you were 12, 13, or you're only a freshman, like, I hate that. I absolutely hate it because, like, no one cares. There's a freshman at UConn right now. She won Freshman of the Year and Player of the Year in the whole conference. She's the first one to ever do that as a freshman. Like, why can't I do that? Like, I can, Like, it doesn't matter if you're a freshman or you're a senior. Everyone's playing for the same thing.
Yeah.
So when people tell me, "Oh, you've only been playing for this long. You're only, first year," like, I don't really care. Like, that shouldn't even matter. It doesn't play a factor in anything.
That's what makes you a special individual, Nicole. Seriously. Mentally, right? I mean, you put so much into everything. And I already know you're going to be a success. You will, you know. So that's awesome, though. So I want to touch on some, like, motivational stuff. Because I know you're big on stuff like that and quotes and stuff like that. So what's one quote or something that drives you and stuff like that?
A couple that I've always kind of thought about, like when I'm training or when I mess up or fail, it's like, well, if you're not the hardest worker then you're doing it wrong, because like that kind of ties in with this one by Derek Jeter. I can't remember the whole thing, but it's like, everyone, there can be people who like can jump higher than you, run faster than you. Like, you can't really control that, but if I know I'm working harder than you, like, there's no excuse for someone else to be working harder than you.
Yeah.
And
Because you're in control of that.
right. I can't control how high I could jump. I mean, of course, there's things I can do to
Improve
it, but if someone just naturally can jump, like, I can't control that. But I know that person will never work harder than me. Someone who's faster than me, maybe in like a sprint, they're not going to beat me in a long distance run. So I think it's just always, my mindset has been just work hard, and it has to pay off. And my travel ball coach, one time he told me, if you give it everything you have every single day, it's impossible that you won't make it. And I think about that every day too, because I mean, I know what I do, and I know that a lot of people aren't willing to do it, but I am. So it's just a matter of time for me to be great.
One of the things I like to ask all the athletes, right, is, do you feel like you're sacrificing a lot, or do you feel like you're enjoying the process?
I think it's both, because I enjoy doing this.
If say you weren't going and playing basketball at LMU, would you still be working out every day?
I think I would, yes.
I can answer that for you. I know you would.
Yeah, just
right?
like my personality. I have a very, I think, like, obsessive personality. I have to work out every day. I just have to, or else I can't sleep, literally. Like, it sits wrong in my stomach. Like, if I didn't work out and I went to go hang out with my friends, like, I would not enjoy myself. I would have to, if that meant waking up at 3 a.m. to hang out with my friends or go to the beach like early in the morning, I would do that, because I wouldn't enjoy myself.
I still remember the call we just recently had, right? We were talking, and I was like, maybe you just need to chill out a little bit, right? Take a little break, Nicole. And what did you tell me?
I can't do it. I just can't.
What if I said, what did I tell you? Like, just, maybe you need to just stay in your room for a little bit. And what was your response about someone else being in the gym?
Yeah, I don't like it if I know someone's in the gym, I have to be in there. Or I have to know that, okay, if someone's in there for 2 hours, I have to be in there for 3 hours. Like, I can't. I have to be the first one in there, last one in there. Yeah, I don't like when other people are working out and I'm not. Like, but there have been days where I'm like, I'm just over this. Like, I've been playing bad in these last couple games. Like, I'm not gonna work out anymore. And then, because I was like, no one else does, and look how successful they are. So maybe I should just take off a day. So then after practice or something, I won't go work out, and I feel terrible. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, just like, it's gonna pay off. Like, it's just a matter of time.
It will, though. I know it will.
Yeah.
Again, I know it will. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to tell anybody that people don't know about you? Is anything? What do you do outside of training, outside of sports? Like, what's one interest that nobody would expect? Do you play any instruments? Do you sing? Do you do any of that?
No, I think if I were to do something else, it would just distract me from like other goals that I have. But I'm not saying that if you have other like hobbies, that's bad. But I just dedicate so much time to what I do. When I'm not playing sports or training, I don't have that much time. So I just spend a lot of time with like people I love, my family and stuff. Um, but they all know how much time that I, put in
Dedicate
and
to it.
dedicate,
Yeah.
and I have to sacrifice a lot of time with them. And over the years, they've definitely gotten used to it. And so, like, my aunts, for example, when they want to, like, hang out, they're like, do you have games this week? Do you have practice today? That's the first question. And then it's like, no. And like, oh, okay, can you hang out? So everyone knows now that,
But I think they
yeah, they do.
enjoy that too, because I mean, you have a huge support base, right?
I do,
So, yeah, I think they enjoy that process with you, though.
yeah.
Even though it might seem like a sacrifice, it's kind of like, dang, I miss Nicole's season being over, probably. Like
Yeah.
watching the games on TV or watching it live, especially, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, cool. Well, thanks again for taking some time out of your day, being on the podcast.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's pretty special to have you here, though. It really is. So appreciate that, and thank you. If we want to build your fan base, because I know you're going to be something special. How can they reach you or follow you or something like that?
Yeah, follow me at Nicole Rodriguez. The L is a 1. Same on Twitter, Nicole Rodriguez. That's it.
All right. Well, good luck in upcoming years. We already know you're going to be a success. I do.
Thank you. Appreciate
So
it.
again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Tune in next week for another special guest. Peace.